morning here. May I know your country of residence?
Okay. I'm from Nigeria.
Nigeria, okay.
Yes.
Just a second.
Mm.
So hi, welcome to your individual assessment. And the objective of this assessment is to know more about your personal information,
Okay.
your work experiences, and the other things that we need to note and add to your profile.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So you are currently in Nigeria.
Yes, I'm in Nigeria.
How did you learn about Work Global Canada?
How do I?
How did you learn?
Okay. Through the sponsor is international recruitment.
And what is your highest educational attainment?
Okay. I have a BSc in geoinformatics and surveying from the University of Nigeria and Soka.
Can you repeat that again, please?
Okay, I have BSc in geoinformatics and surveying from the University of Nigeria and Soka.
BSc.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What does BSc means?
Bachelor of Sciences. Bachelor of
Science
Yes.
in. Can you
Geoinformatics,
repeat your
geoinformatics and surveying. Surveying.
just a second?
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So geoinformatics and surveying.
Yes, yes.
And what is your current work?
Okay. I work as a laborer in a construction company.
For how many years now?
4 years of experience. Over 4 years.
You were for 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Solomon, can you tell me your work experiences from your first job until your current work now as a construction laborer?
Okay. I am a construction laborer with over 4 years of experience.
Mhm.
I assist the trade person in a line of a construction of installation of construction of installation of 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 in construction of payment. Then I load and unload a construction material from the truck. I also help in removal of debris and rumble from the construction head, from the construction site. And I also I also mix and move cement and asphalt. I mix cement, move and asphalt. I also pave and rake asphalt. Okay. Then in terms of equipment, I use hand roller, compressor. I know how to drive bobcat. I I use a wheelbarrow, a shovel, jackhammer, jackhammer. I also know how to use a small drilling machine. Uh-huh. So I use pick. I also use a sophisticated surveying instrument, such as leveling instrument, GPS, and total station.
Okay.
I am
What are
not,
your main responsibilities in your construction jobs?
my main responsibility in a construction
Yeah.
job. Okay, that's why I assist the trade persons, such as welders.
Sorry, you assisted
I
assisted
assist
the welder.
welders, the trade persons, such as welders and carpenter, in installation of a pipeline during the pipeline installation.
Okay.
I also mix cement and pour cement and move cement. Okay. I also load and unload a construction material. I also move and unload and transport a construction material from the truck or forklift. I also pave and rake an asphalt during the asphalt laying.
And doing the
I also remove I also do normal routine work, such as cleaning and removal of rumble and the debris from the site.
okay. So you have mentioned that you load and unload construction materials, right?
Yeah.
Can you describe your experience?
My experience is that labor work always be you must be fit and motivated. So you must be fit. That is number one of laboring work. You must be fit and motivated. So it's always be a experience in you must work hard. You must work hard as an experience. You must work hard. And sometimes it always give a problem or other, but at the end of the day, the most important is that the work is done. I always get the work done. That's the most important thing.
Okay. What safety procedures do you follow while working on a construction site?
Excuse me. What if
What safety procedures do you follow in working in a construction site?
okay, you mean the safety the safety
Procedure.
okay, safety procedure. First of all, you have to be safety focused. You must know about
Okay.
safety. As a laborer, you must know about a safety focus. First of all, you must have your helmet, your vest, your rain boot, your raincoat, your 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 eye goggle and hand glove. You must also have your
Okay.
safety. You must also have your safety boot. So safety is very important in a construction work.
Okay. What construction tools and equipment are you experienced in using?
Okay, that's what I said. I've told you. I said I use hand rollers.
Okay.
Okay. I use um, compressor. I know how to drive
Compressor?
a compressor. Yes, I know a small compressor. I know how to drive bobcat. I know how to use a wheelbarrow, shovel, pick, jackhammer, steel tape, um, and small drilling machine.
Okay.
I also say that as a surveyor, as a somebody who read a surveying school, I know how to use leveling instruments. I know how to use the differential GPS, and I know how to use a total station. Those are the sophisticated surveying instruments I'm experienced on.
Okay. Are you any open to any location here in Newfoundland, just in case you will be hired by one of our employer?
I'm not owing any organization.
What I'm saying is, are you open to any location here in Newfoundland once you will be hired by one of our employer?
Yes, I'm okay with the province.
Do you have any idea about the province?
I know that the capital of Newfoundland is St. John. I know it's one of the provinces in Canada because I know many provinces in Canada, some like Alberta, uh,
Mm-hmm.
Quebec, Vancouver. I know about British Columbia, so I know many provinces in Canada, but Newfoundland is okay by me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a driver's license? Can you drive?
Yes, I can drive. I can drive.
But do you have the driver's license
Yes, of
or
course.
no?
I have. I have.
Okay. And what is your marital status?
I'm single.
By any chance, do you have a child?
No, I don't have a child.
Okay. Do you have any relatives here in Canada?
I have, but they are not closer to Newfoundland. They are living in Ontario. So it's
Okay.
just a normal relative. It's a far relative, not a close relative. But I have somebody.
Okay. So, Solomon, the next questions are quite sensitive, so I need you to be honest and open as this is important in your application.
Okay.
Have you been refused of a visa application before?
No, I have not applied for visa before.
So, if ever this will be your first time.
Yes.
Do you have any health issues that we need to note?
No, I don't have any health issue. The last time I checked in medical, I don't have any health issue. So I can bring a proof of it.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Uh,
great.
all right.
And do you have any criminal records or any cases filed against you?
No, I don't have. I have not committed any crime.
That's perfect. That's great. Yeah. Okay. So, Solomon, after this, I will be sending you an email
Okay.
and I will need you to submit your updated resume, your certificate of employment, and then a week or so, we will invite you for an information session where we discuss about the immigration pathway that you are going to use
Okay.
to enter here in Canada and with regards to the processing fees.
Okay. No problem.
Okay?
All right. I have a
And
question.
then after that,
Yeah.
sorry,
No problem.
after the information session,
Mhm.
if you declare that you are financially ready to proceed with your application, we will be endorsing your profile to our employer.
All right. No problem.
And then you will be invited for the job interview, hopefully.
Okay. You're all right.
Okay. So for now, do you have any questions?
I have a question. I want to know what is all about this job. Is it a road construction or a building construction?
The employer has a physical
Okay. All
location for this. Yep.
right. All right. So you have told me
But
I have known the
and then
yeah.
yes, but prior to your job interview, we will also share you the company or the employer's information so that you will have an idea and you will be aware of what company you are going to
All right. That's no problem.
apply. Yep.
Okay.
But you're okay with hybrid,
I'm okay. I'm okay.
right?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for having
Okay.
thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. And yeah, we will be inviting you again. But for the information session, there will also be other candidates, okay?
All right.
Because on that information session, we will just be discussing about the fees, how much will you pay for it, and of course, the pathway.
All right. No problem.
Yeah, but for your pathway, it would be permanent residency pathway if you're familiar with that, or the PR pathway, which makes you not just a worker, but also a permanent resident here in Canada, hopefully.
All right. No problem.
Okay.
I'm waiting
Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
No problem. Have a nice day.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So that is how
Thing.
that's how it ended, right? That's how it ended. It was a good one, oh.
It was she said she still okay. Yeah. I'll see another interview.
Yes,
Maybe
normally.
the job plan.
This is
This is job. The information you take to the. That's what I said.
it's sounding good though.
It's just
That's all. Every disappointment is a blessing, right?
yes, yeah. The pressure.
They will hire you now is 95%.
Okay.
Yes. There's nothing
She's
to
happy.
discuss about.
She's happy. She's happy.
Yeah. So the next time now is to discuss with the whole thing, payment process, and they say it's a permanent. So it's not even a temporary. Just imagine.
Yeah, it's not temporary.
Before you know it, and Solomon just go Canada like this because.
I'm sure. No, she's not. She's sounding comfortable.
Yes, yeah, it makes sense. What happened yesterday reminded me one of the reasons why we educate every candidate that come to us. You know, at Sponsor is International Recruitment, we help candidates to secure job. And the event that happened yesterday, which is one of our candidates had an interview in our office with one of our recruitment partners in Canada. And during the process, reminded me and the reason why we educate every candidate on how international recruitment process work or how we at Sponsor is International Recruitment, work. The video you're watching is one of our candidates who is sitting an interview and having an interview with one of our recruitment partners in Canada. I was the one who recorded part of this video that you're seeing. I was behind the scene there while the candidate was sitting down to have the interview. If you look at it, you see that I'm not the one being interviewed. It is the candidate that's being interviewed. So the candidate is the one sitting down there and answering interview questions. Also, we as Sponsor is International Recruitment are not the one interviewing candidates. It's our recruitment partners and also sometimes with the employer interview candidates. So there are responsibilities that happens. I mean, each of the organizations involved in the process of traveling have their own responsibilities. Even though I was there behind the scene, recording the video and all of that, although we talk, discuss before the whole thing, there's no way I could, actually answer the question or even make decision or even influence the decision of the recruitment partner in the process. That's why we would like to let candidates know that they have responsibility in the process. Just the same way we as Sponsor is International Recruitment have a responsibility. So before a candidate, come to us or make commitment or register with us, we like to provide detailed step-by-step process on how our recruitment process works. And that we start by telling the candidate that we are not a travel agency or agent. We are international recruitment. That's our company name is Sponsor is International Recruitment Limited. So we help candidates to prepare the process of traveling. While we work with recruitment companies abroad, also we work with employers. Employers are part of the parties in the process, immigration. So in the travel process, you have the candidate who is the main party. Then you have us, Sponsor is International Recruitment. Then you have our recruitment partners in the process. You have employer in the process. Then you have the immigration in the process. Each of these parties plays their own role and their own role they play. None of the parties can influence each of the parties' responsibility or another party's responsibility. So in our own case, what we do is we make sure that every candidate understand how we work first. And our process starts from information and eligibility assessment section, where we invite candidates to visit our office. We provide you detailed information how our process works. And as always mentioned, you can come with anybody, you can come with a friend, a lawyer, whatever it is. And at the same time, after that, then you now will start what we call 101 career session, where an assigned intake officer is assigned to the candidate. So intake officer is assigned to the candidate. Had a 101 career session. We begin with job search and matching. Prepares candidate CV or reformat it, or you call it also, or enhance it, the CV. Then we create a cover letter. After we have done that, we submit the application to our recruitment partner. So at this point, after we have done 101 career session, job search and matching, prepare candidate CV, cover letter, the application is submitted to our recruitment partner. In other words, they take over the process of their recruitment. So our recruitment partners now will not take over. They are the one who is connected with the employer. Then they will match the candidate with available employer. And matching the candidate with available employer depends on different factors. One, the skill of the candidate, availability of the employer, because the employer has to be available who needs the candidate's skill, right? And also when they match the candidate, our recruitment partners are the one to schedule an interview with the candidates. The candidate receives an interview invitation through their official email. And when that is done, what we do now, we now come up again to prepare the candidates for that interview, just as we did to this candidate, Mr. Solomon. So that is basically how it works. And after that, the candidate is the one who has the responsibility to sit down to go through the interview. So even while I was there, there's nothing I could do. I could not sit down to have the interview for the candidate. I cannot influence, tell the recruitment partner this candidate is good, take him or that, the candidate has to prove that during that interview. After they have done that, also the employer takes the responsibility of deciding to hire the candidate or not, because it's the employer that will hire a candidate, right? After that, the employer is the one that issue a job offer to the candidate. When that is done, our recruitment partners will also move on to apply work permit or work visa for the candidate. Then the whole thing now move on from the candidates, from us, from our recruitment partners, from the employer to immigration. So immigration will make decision either to approve the visa or not, or approve work permit or not. So either the candidates or us, our recruitment partners or employer cannot influence the visa approval. It is the responsibility of the candidate, of the immigration, to decide to approve. So these are how the process works. So those are the things we like to explain to candidates. So like this candidate that is having an interview, he has registered with us for over 8 months with us. Although he needed to have some patience, he didn't know that at this point now he will get an interview. As I was discussing with him at the background, he said that he thought that, man, he wouldn't get the interview. I mean, he wouldn't get to this stage, right? But it came the time he didn't know. So sometimes it does not come when you think it will come, because it will always come when the employer is ready, when there's available employer. And each candidate's time is different, because there's a lot of factors that determines when you have an interview and or what happens in your own process, because there's a lot of factors affecting the whole thing: your skill, qualification, experience, available of employer, job demand, and everything has a lot to play in this process. So that's why we let people know what we do and what we don't do. So our own is to prepare candidate. We don't issue job offers to candidate because we are not an employer. We don't issue visas to candidates because we are not an immigration officer or authority. We don't issue work permit to candidate because we are not an immigration also. We don't interview candidate because that's the job of the employer or recruitment partners. We also don't match candidates with an employer. That's the responsibility of our recruitment partners and the employer. So a whole lot of those things. Our own is to prepare candidate, which has to do with helping candidates through one-on-one career session to understand candidate skills, work experience, document, then prepare the candidate to move to the next level in the process, which has to do with the CV. Prepare the candidate CV, reformat his CV, make it sharper and international standard to the job that candidate want to apply. Then we prepare a cover letter also. That cover letter will now tally with the CV and the job. Then we submit the application to our recruitment partners. And that is where our first process stops. So when we submit the application to our recruitment partners, it is now our recruitment partners that will take over the process. They are the one that will now take over to match the candidate with an employer. And matching that depends on the candidate's skills, employer availability, job demand, and a lot of other factors. Then when candidate is matched, then they will issue interview invitation to the candidate. And that invitation will come to the candidate email, because each candidate has to create what we call candidate application email. So each of our candidates creates an email which we use it for this application. So we don't use our own personal email, it is the candidate email. So everything we do is always happens on that email for transparency, so the candidate will see that all of these things are done. So when they issued the invitation, just like this candidate, they issued an invitation, he received it, he showed me, because I'm the intake officer, that he has received an invitation from one of our recruitment partners in Canada, and the interviews were scheduled. So we have to have interview preparation. We prepared him for an interview. He went through the interview. We gave him all the tips and all of that he need to do. He came to our office because he said he want to use our office for a serene environment. Then he came, he sat down. I was at the back. As you can see, he saw our discussions and all of those things he passed through. At the end, the interview was successful. The recruitment partner said that, wow, this is the kind of person they need. And the candidate now requested that candidate submit additional document, which is his educational qualification documents, his other experiences. And we are going to be helping this candidate to submit those additional documents, prepare them and submit it completely to our recruitment partners. And they take over the whole process again to make decision and continue in the process. So basically that is how it works. So if you are a registered candidate with us, right, know that these are the process. These are things we do. We don't claim responsibilities of what we don't do. We don't guarantee people will give you a job because we are not an employer that gives job. What we do is to submit application to our recruitment partners who match with an employer. Then the employer decides either to give you the job based on your performance on interview. And also, we don't guarantee people, tell people that we give you visa because we are not immigration that gives visa. It's immigration that gives visa. But sometimes people don't really understand this. That's why we take our time to explain this process, so that those people who already register with us we can still learn one or two things, understand where their process are now to know what next. So if we have submitted your application, that means your application is actually waiting for our recruitment partners to match you. And it is the responsibility of our recruitment partners to match you in this process. If you intend to start your process with us, you have to go through from the very beginning, which is information and eligibility assessment section, where we'll educate you formally on our process. Down there, then we, go through 101 career session, go through other information processing we provide for you, so to make sure that you understand the process and make better decision and decide on your own that you want to begin your process with us. That's why, because we build our business, our structure based on transparency. So we like candidates to understand the very beginning how our process works before they make commitment, before they start. So if you are in the process, this is actually how it works. If you're ready, if you want to start your process, this is actually how our process works transparently, and everything is documented. All our processes from the very beginning, the time you chatted us on WhatsApp, down the time you traveled, we have the documentation of every part of it. We document all our process through all different means. So to make sure that everything is documented and the candidate is safe in the process. So basically that is how it is.